At Dave Cooper Live, we connect the industry leaders in the architectural, engineering, and construction space with the people, the products, and the processes to help them build it better. All right, welcome everybody to Dave Cooper Live, where we bring you the people, the products, and the processes helping us all to build it better. And today we'll discover how leading electrical contractor is moving beyond BIM and leveraging the power of virtual construction engineering to deliver fully customizable MEP solutions using prefab assemblies from their in-house catalog. That's right. Aaron Graven from Lake Erie Electric is coming on the show right after we have a few words from our supporting members. And just to know, these conversations are all powered by our good friend Sean Intagliata of Cobalt Creed. Let's say thank you. Stream Modular, the only logistics company you need to transport your mods, pods, and panels. Our friends at Stream Modular are investing $50 million over the next 25 years to build the technology, solutions, and trailers needed to handle and transport the projects of today and meet the demands of tomorrow. Reach out to their team at streammodular.com to discuss your next project. CombiLift is the largest global manufacturer of multi-directional forklifts and straddle carriers, a leader in long load handling solutions, offering a free warehouse and site optimization design service. CombiLift helps companies of all sizes and from every industry maximize the capacity, safety, and efficiency of their warehouse and storage facilities. A big thank you to Paul Short and the team at CombiLift for helping us all to build it better. Visit them at combilift.com. Ready to scale up your offsite construction business? Introducing 4A Constructs, your solution to finding skilled labor for offsite manufacturing. Say goodbye to the headache of recruiting a skilled workforce with hand-selected certified tradesmen that are expertly trained and managed for offsite manufacturing, set crews, and finished crews, ensuring maximum productivity and safety. Unlock the future of skilled workforce development for all of your offsite construction needs. Visit them at 4aconstructs.com. All right, again, thank you to all of our supporting members. Hey, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's bring Aaron onto the show. Aaron, how are you, my friend?
Hey, Dave, how you doing today?
Good, I'm doing amazing. So, Aaron, this is a great conversation because we talk about prefabrication on this show all the time, whether it's modular, volumetric, mass timber, CLT, you name it, we talk about it. But we do not have a whole lot of conversations on how do we prefab our MEP systems, our electrical systems, and how do we do it in a large format scale on large projects that not only speed up the time to delivery, but increase efficiency, safety, and all those other things. And I have a feeling you're going to talk to me all about it.
Oh yeah, we got a lot to say, a lot of good stuff going on. So, it just, a lot of good stuff's happening in the industry, and it's evolving day by day. And although we got a little bit of catching up to do in the electrical industry, I think great things are happening, and the wheels are really starting to spin. So,
Yeah, you know what, and we're going to jump into that too. So when you say a lot of catching up to do, I think the world's going to be shocked to find out how 2D your world still is at the moment. But before we do that, Aaron, we want to know everything about you from the moment you were born to this very moment on time. Do not leave out any of the good stuff from the hospital, or I'm going to bring all your kids on the show. I'm going to bring them all on the show before your cruise so they can embarrass the daylights out of you. But you only have 2 minutes to do it. Go tell us a little about who you are.
All good. I've Aaron Graven, been in the electrical industry since 2007, licensed journeyman in Michigan and Ohio. I'm part of IBW Local 8. I spent about 8 years working in the field, living it, doing it. And then we started getting into the digital technology flow. And, my boss asked me if I was interested in doing some Trimble and digital layout. And I said, you know what, I'll try whatever at this point. I think this is where the world's going. So, I jumped on that boat, and here we are now. So,
I mean, tell me a little bit about this, right? So, I mean, so you're handling for your company all the digital twin BIM technology and integration for the projects?
Yeah, no, I definitely lead the area here, and with Brian Dilly, the guy I work with.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for him, we probably wouldn't even be around. So I got to give a big shout out to him, and also my boss Rick Bonfiglio, because he heard of it, saw it. We had the dream, kind of went to him, and he let us just kind of run wild, and now we're doing pretty good for ourselves. So
excellent.
We're definitely shining a good light on the industry for us. So.
Well, I love it. I love it. Tell us a little bit about the company. Like who is your clients? Who do you service? And what size projects are you typically working on?
So we have 10 total offices, 2 in Michigan, the rest are in Ohio.
Okay.
We kind of go from north to south on all of Ohio, and we push, all the way over to Akron and Dayton.
Mm-hmm.
And we do a lot of steel and institutional. So here in Toledo, we're very industrial. We have BGSU right around the corner in Toledo, just to the north of us.
Right.
And then we also, being our geograph here in Toledo, we're able to service and help out with a lot of the other colleges too, like, Michigan, University of Michigan, and then also the Ohio State Wexner project. We did that too. So, which was a big 28-story hospital. So it's real nice. We're able to branch out just kind of everywhere.
Well, yeah, I'm pulling up the sites. People kind of see a little bit about who you guys are. I mean, it looks like you're doing a lot of really big and complex projects, not only with the universities, but the Department of Energy, hospitals as well, water and waste projects. So when it comes to MEPs and I mean, this is really for mass scale projects, it looks like.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I think that's where the industry's kind of flawed a little bit, because we're starting to get it down to the nitty gritty, where every project that we get comes through this building, and we try to put a pre-plan in a great thing together, because whether we realize it or not, someone's doing that on site.
Right.
We have all these electricians out there, and they're doing on-site engineering on the fly, all while trying to manage people, keep the job safe, and make money. And so, that's where we're starting to come in. We want to be able to take some of that off of their plate, come in with a really good plan, already have some of our RFIs answered, and be able to hit the ground running to save time, money, and bring the project in on budget.
Yeah, for sure. And listen, everybody wants to come in on time and on budget these days. And why don't you walk us through, the complexities of how and why you're doing it differently than others? Because, we're not talking about a bunch of, journeymen and tradesmen showing up on site, installing 100% of it. You're doing a lot of the work off site, but maybe kind of set the stage. Like, what is the problem that you are trying to fix here? I mean, is it broken?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd say, I don't know if it's completely broken, but there's definitely some loopholes.
Yeah.
And if you compare apples to apples or apples to oranges, and you look at some of the mechanical and plumbing and some of their drawings, I've never received a full ISO drawing with everything already planned out. They already pretty much have a 3D interpretation of what they're going to install.
Right.
And when I get it, it just looks like a spaghetti mess. And I'm told that there's a beginning and there's an end, and the middle's the means and method to go figure it out.
Your plans are, when you're getting them, basically they're just sheets of paper, all 2D. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But everybody else is working in BIM on these large projects. Why do they leave the electrical conduit folks out of it?
Well, I just think it's because it's so tough. I mean, if you look at some of these pictures and some of the conduit and stuff,
Yeah.
not only we don't just have water running through these conduits or a pressurized system, but we actually have to figure out what size wire, size it up, size it down, figure out what's going through them, how many circuits we need. You got to derate it and everything.
Right.
There's a lot of means and method that go on here, and a lot of this is figured out in the field by the site supervisor or foreman, and we're getting to the point now where we want to actually have a constructible model and put it in. And I think that's the problem that we've had for a really long time is electrical so complicated that a lot of the stuff that you see in models that we get are just space savers.
I mean,
so
this is complex right here. I mean, this is not a little feet of wiring or conduit or piping that is easy to figure out, let alone on site, let alone on a 2D plan. How do you draw that?
Yeah. So, I got to give some credit here. We were partnered with Vader Electric on this project, and the good guy, Don Champion, did a lot of the drawing. And then we helped out. We re-rendered it a little bit here and there. But, we were able to draw all this in and make it 100% constructible, where, for so long, it's just been, checking off the box, just check it off to say, hey, we modeled it, we did what we needed to do. And then by the time the drawing actually gets out to the field, the guy's standing there who's actually trying to build it, and he's like, this isn't buildable. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to take that 3D model and make it actually constructible with the parts, the pieces, what we're using, what we're doing, just like, the pipe fitters and the ductwork guys have done for many years. So, it takes a little bit of time up front, but we're finding that you save a lot of time and money in the end.
Well, yeah, for sure. You're going to save time and money in the end. Why don't we take a look at, just so people understand what it is we're talking about here when we talk about saving money in the end, because I know we have some photos kind of showing. So this is what you're doing offsite. So walk us through how you're making a difference offsite to make the onsite safer, faster, better, all the fun stuff.
Yeah. So you know what we have during this project here, we have roughly like 8 to 10 journeyman electricians from local 8 right here in our own district, and we had them bending up and assembling all these conduit racks and fittings, and then we were literally putting them on a semi. I think we had a total of about 55. It might have been more, give or take, but we were shipping them all the way down to Columbus, and then we were, logistics wise, it was kind of a nightmare, not gonna lie, but when you started looking around on site and you're looking at all this conduit and all those pictures that you had of conduit in the air, we started having questions. Where are we going to build this? Where are we going to, assemble it? How are we going to put it up? And if we put it up stick by stick, it would have taken forever. But we were able to ship all this down on 55 truckloads over the course of about a year and a half. And we were able to put it up, and some of those sections that you got there in the ceiling, we were able to put them up in 2 to 3 days.
Right.
So, or not 2 to 3 days, with 2 or 3 journeymen over a course of 2 or 3 weeks.
And how long would it normally take?
I mean, months. It would have taken months.
So you're shaving a lot of time off. And so when these assemblies arrive, the ones like this right here, do the rest of the kit of parts come with it to make all the connections?
Yeah. So, the deal is a lot of these rod hangers were already in the ceilings, poured into the concrete pour, and they literally just took the strut and bugged it on and shoved it up through and hooked it on, and it was ready to go. And then they put it together like a giant Lego set. So, I guess the good way to, put it is, we're basically, we're building Legos here is what we're trying to do. We're trying to simplify it down to the point
Right.
of building a Lego set, plugging it together, and walking away.
So you're getting the 2D drawings. Let's say I'm a developer or I have a big project and I say, all right, I saw the Dave Cooper live show. I like Aaron Graven and what these guys are doing and gals are doing. What is it do I send you and how do you turn my drawing into what you need so you know when it shows up on site, all those straight lines with the bend where it looks like it goes under ductwork or a steel beam is exactly where it needs to be, because that seems like an immense project.
Yeah, no. So you know what? And to be honest with you, that's where I got my title from, was virtual construction engineer. And I'm not gonna lie, I gotta give credit to Knox. I don't know if you know the boys at Knox over there, and they're great guys. They do a lot of cool stuff.
Okay.
They're leaders in the industry too. But what they do is, we get drawings in every way, shape, or form, and that's what I was like. I don't deal with just Revit or BIM or Bluebeam. I deal with it all. And so that, that title incorporated everything. But we get our drawings however they come, whether it be a PDF or an AutoCAD drawing or an actual Revit drawing. And then what we do is we import it into Revit. And then we start drawing based on the architectural drawings around what we need to draw. And we try to link in and get with some of our other partners, other contractors that are working on stuff.
Yeah.
We collaborate with them. We try to miss each other because, they're putting in exactly what they're building. And in an electrical, we've never really put in what we were building. It was always just a space saver or, just something pretty, I guess. And when we started actually showing all the conduits that were needed and the bends and the physical size and what was going into them,
right,
that's when we started getting some of the clout. And it was like, oh, well, I guess we could just move our duct or our pipe to help you out. So, it's come a long way and a lot of good stuff's happening.
Yeah.
And it's exciting. I'll tell you what.
You know how many jobs over the years that I have, built in, I'd come in and the plumber would be ripping out the HVAC line or the HVAC guys ripping out the plumbers or the electrical, because the plans, everybody has their own job and their own set and not everybody knows each other's code changes and what happened. And
that was the theory. It was whoever got in first was there.
Right. Right.
And,
right.
Let's just be honest. It's not there anymore. With the labor shortage that we're facing and the projects getting condensed into a smaller and smaller time, this is what we're really having to go at. And so one of the other big problems that we really started to come across was as we started to grow as a company here and as an engineering department, we are looking for these modelers and these people, and we're starting to find that they're kind of non-existent.
Yeah.
So, we've been to conventions. We've been to Advancing Prefab out in Phoenix,
right,
and in Denver this last year. We've been up to Milwaukee to the MEP Force, and they're all great conferences. And we're asking these people, where are you finding these people that can 3D model, who want to help pre-plan and do the job? And they're like, we're not. You're either training them on the go, or you're bringing somebody in from the field and then trying to get them into the computers.
Right.
Which, the way I came in. So that right there is an example of the floor in the picture you look at. All these conduits were 20-foot, sections of conduit in the assemblies. And where would you have bent that on an 881 or a Greenlee bender?
Yeah.
You couldn't even move on these floors. It was so busy.
So that's part of what it is, right? Because there's so many parts and pieces. By controlling the environment on where you're doing this and where you're building the majority of it, you're cutting down the parts and pieces on site probably by 3/4, if not more. And now it's just an assembly process on site versus a manufacturing and assembly process.
Right. And now you got to think about it too, is you have the same guys bending conduit over and over again, and they get faster and faster at it. And then the other thing is a safety feature. They're not doing it around all that material and all those tools and all those changing conditions. They're doing it in a nice, nice indoor facility, because here in Ohio, you don't know what you're getting. The weather changes on the spot.
Right, right.
And then, then it's ice and freezing for half the year. So just the fact that they have a nice place where it's warm, dry, and they have the right tools to get the job done makes a big difference.
And it does make a big difference. And we're going to get into a couple other things here. So we understand the offsite portion of this, but a lot of people don't understand is that it is also for site work. It's just not for buildings. You are doing big underground electrical projects, for EV station, charging stations, because everything you see in these buildings and these complex stacks of, mechanicals and conduit, the same thing's happening out on a job site. Is it not true?
Yeah. We're taking it out, and what we're modeling, we're actually taking it out to the job site and using it. Yeah. So, here's a picture of a whole electrical room. We literally fabbed it up in our fab shop. We took it out there, shot it in with the Trimble compared to what we had in our 3D model, and set it right in the ground. And then they were able to bug on conduits and go. And the nice part about doing this is you're not, anybody who's done some underground work in electrical knows that you're out there with 1/2-inch EMT and tie wire, and you're trying to keep the conduit straight and trying to make it not float, and you're hoping and praying to God that when the concrete's poured, that you're coming up in the bottom of the gear. And we've taken it to the next level where we have, we're able to actually set this rack in the ground. We know it's not going to float, and by shooting it in with our Trimble and our total station, we are able to actually know that we're coming right up in the bottom of the gear where we need to be.
It looks so simple, but it is so complex because of all the different bends and angles and where it has to, like in a picture like this, it all has to feed to the wall that it's going up in, or the chase that it's going to, or where the pipes are coming in from outside. So you're saying that that right there are these racks pretty much that you're building on site, and this whole rack gets shipped, and you just set the whole thing in the ground and set it, and then you shoot it exactly where it needs to be with whatever lasers or that you're using, and it's exactly where it needs to be, and nobody forgot to put one pipe in.
Nope, not. I mean, I'm engineers are engineers, but at the same time, we do everything that we try to catch. And that's part of our job here too in this engineering office is we really want to catch those problems before they become problems. And we I hate to say it, but like on this project here that you're looking at, I want to say that we had probably 70 RFIs before we had boots on the ground.
No kidding.
So to just give you a little bit of insight of the thing that's going on. And at first the GC was like, oh man, what did we do by picking these guys? I'm sure they were, not too happy with us. We were asking a lot of questions, but in the end, we were able to bring this project in on time and on budget. And this was a 6-month project here, and we actually had 40 miles of conduit, and we did 40 miles in 40 days.
This is the EV charging stations at a gas station or somewhere?
This is actually an Amazon distribution facility. So, yeah, we were able to put the racks right in the ground, and then the conduits that you see sticking up going down were coming up right into the bottom of every single EV charger that was in the walkway, in between the parking, in between all the vans that we put in.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really understand how complex it is until you start seeing pictures, right?
No, it was a pretty big feat. This is, I'd have to say this is probably where it all started for us, and we got our buy-in, and this is when we started seeing some of the glory happen here. So
yeah, for sure. And you guys are obviously working all over the Midwest here, and out through Pennsylvania. You're in Lake Erie, so I would imagine you service New York and this area too. But you're a fairly large company.
In Tennessee right now, so yeah, wherever we need to go. I mean, we're pretty open to whatever. But
right. You were talking earlier about struggling to find skilled labor, and instead of complaining about it and moaning about it like so many others do in this industry, you guys have taken it upon yourself to go out and start working with the local trade schools. Talk us a little bit about some of your programs.
Yeah, so we came back from some of our conferences, And we were trying to find these people, couldn't find them. We're asking people where to find them everywhere. And,
Yeah.
it's starting to happen. People are starting to have talks. We got, people like Brian Nichols with Allied BIM, and he's teaching, out at some colleges, and the guys at Knox have a good training program. But here in our area, in the Midwest, there's just not a lot of availability or abundance of these people who are looking to do the electrical or pre-planning electrical. And the cool part about it is we start going around and in talking to these people, and there's a lot of interest here.
Right.
You got to think all these kids that you see in the picture here, they grew up around all this technology and gaming and playing video games.
Right. Right.
And this 3D modeling is kind of like playing a video game. And in fact, that's Brian and my one interview question right away, right out of the box is, do you play video games? Because I want to know if you can sit in front of a computer for 8 to 10 hours a day,
Right.
and have that kind of an attention span. So
Yeah.
putting those real life skills to use. But yeah, we started going to the universities and checking it out.
Yeah.
And everything we checked on was just a touch and go architecture class. And it was like, do you teach Revit? Do you teach BIM? And it was like, well, yeah, we teach that. And then
Yeah.
the more and more we found out, it was, yep, we're just doing touch and go architecture. We're going to teach you how to do a few walls, teach you how to do, a few windows here and there, but no one deep dove into systems. So then eventually we kind of stepped it down, and we were like, who'd be perfect for this is our local vocational school. And let's get some high school kids interested,
Yeah.
And so we started meeting with Pena County, and they jumped at it right away. And so now we're actually helping them. They're putting in a new EV lab with some, microgridding and stuff like that. And we're helping to come up with a curriculum now and what they need to do to prepare their young generation for the construction industry that's of the future, really.
Well, I mean, that is so commendable, right? Because you're going out and you're creating your own workforce. You're getting them interested in what you do, and you're getting them interested in an industry that has jobs for when they graduate.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, for so long the construction world's kind of been looked down on a little bit here and there.
Right.
So it's just nice to see that they're starting to put some technology to it, and everybody's really starting to plan it to the extent of what it really needs to be.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm just running through your pictures here because I think it's so amazing how complex this stuff is, because nobody wakes up and ever thinks that this is what's hidden above the drop ceiling in a hospital or a stadium, or right. You don't see that. We only see the pretty fit and finished sides of everything that we do, which I love. So how do I work with you, Aaron? Let's say, hey, I'm a modular manufacturer doing commercial MEPs. You mentioned you were at Advancing Prefabrication, and I believe that's where we met.
Yeah.
Like, you're there for a reason. Do you have a system that could plug and play, whether it's at another manufacturing facility or on site, or it all just kind of works together?
Yeah, it all kind of just works together. I mean, what we do here is kind of customizable. It's more one-off. That's kind of the construction world right now, and until you start seeing maybe some of these bigger players getting into it, like maybe Amazon someday, or, here's your 10 buildings and you get to choose this facade and this, this is what it is. It's all more one-off, but yeah, I can see it definitely getting to that point here in the future.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, you guys don't make buildings. What are we looking at here?
Oh, so right here, I mean, this is our hoop building out back. This was, this literally housed all the conduit for the Wexner Tower that we did down in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
And, part of their spec was that none of the conduit could be weathered and out in the snow and ice and getting rusted. So we had to put up a building to house all this and keep it nice and neat. And then we stored it all and shipped it down.
And now that's probably your standard, right?
Oh, yeah.
And what is this? This looks like a power station.
Yeah, these are some power packs that we made. I mean, we do customizable power packs, power stations, and we've done many substations. I mean, pretty much anything you can think of in-house.
Right. That's really cool.
Yeah.
You make toys?
Yeah, I mean, we do what we need to do every once in a while. So, this is a request that we got from one of our project managers. He says, "Man, I got this really old toy and it's missing a piece. You guys think you could ever recreate it?" And send us a picture of it. So we drew it out and
You made it.
threw it on the table and cut it out with our plasma table, and
There it is.
there it is.
That's really cool. That's it. I mean, that's part of being a family and working together. Aaron, what have we not touched on that you want the world to know about what you do? Clearly, you have taken an industry that was very complex and digitized it for your company and helping getting it to the next level. What kind of productivity are we seeing on site now that you guys are doing this? And my guess is you get a nice Christmas basket every year for it.
Yeah, no, I'm very well taken care of. I do want to, give props to the owners of my company, Rick Bonfiglio and
Yeah,
Al Carpenter. They definitely take care of me. They believed in this process from the get-go. They
sure.
let me and Brian kind of spread our wings and do what we needed to do. And to be honest, I don't have the true numbers. I've heard numbers, but it's anywhere from like 12 to 18% what we're
Uh-huh.
getting on jobs from doing some of this stuff. So, I mean, none of that's, I don't have all of it to prove it, but it's drastic enough to keep on going and push forward. So,
Yeah, and look, I mean, this is the Ohio location, so you have a lot of different locations. You got
oh,
Michigan
yeah,
locations, right? So you can service a wide area, and it even says here your market. So anybody that's interested in seeing what it is you do, but I mean, look at this. I mean, it's fairly extensive. Commercial, healthcare, manufacturing, automotive, power generation,
yeah,
steel, government, public, renewable, institutional, data centers.
yeah.
And data centers in the offsite space are a big deal these days.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that really they're only going to become more and more abundant as we go more technologically.
Right, right.
It's getting crazy anymore, to be completely honest with you. And that's why I like electrical, is because as the need for EV grows, let's just be honest, the grid can't handle it. So
Right, right,
it's just going to keep blowing up and expanding.
right. So, and the services you have here, right? So it looks like you guys do pre-construction, you do electrical design and BIM project management, and then you also have your own service and preventative maintenance fleets out there.
Yeah. I think just in Toledo here alone, we have probably 15 to 20 vans that are constantly running around, and those
Uh-huh.
guys are killing it every day, just making the world happen and putting out fires for people. So, we got some really good individuals here.
Well, I love it, and I think we have to have bigger conversations on this. And
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see Aaron Graven in some of these offsite manufacturing facilities. Hey, Mod Logic, you out there listening? Jim Gabriel, come on, Jim. You should be looking at this. My guess is he's probably already looking or doing this already. But if he doesn't know, you should know each other, right? He's in PA here as well, and they're doing the largest permanent hospital ever built, modular, in Athens, Ohio, right now.
Oh, no kidding.
So good people to know.
Awesome.
Aaron, tell me, man, what would be your advice to somebody that is just still doing it the old-fashioned way, based on what you know today versus before you started down this journey of bringing the digital twin into the electrical world for your company?
Yeah, I say you just got to give it a chance. I say you really what you need to do. We run here at Lake Erie. We run like a 1-to-3 ratio, where we have an actual journeyman and then 2 to 3 designers working with them, and they're just checking for constructability. So everybody's always done BIM or sub BIM out and done stuff like that. But once we actually started, designing BIM from an electrician's point of view, that's when it really started to take off. So I guess that's where I know it's a little bit of a upfront cost taking a journeyman out of the field and bringing them in, but it really will skyrocket your program.
Yeah, I agree with that. Steve Dubin's in the house. He says, good morning from NorCal. I guess Northern California. They speak a different language out there, I guess. Great to see companies from my hometown of Cleveland being represented on here. Go Browns. And if you don't know Steve Dubin, you should. He's got some great products. Go check him out and check out his social media. He's killing it. Greg Ugaldi, here's the past chair of the NAHB. Guide Updates President of the United States joining us. DC Live, great job highlighting the complexity that electricians face on site. Aaron, do you find yourself over-designing just to be safe and meet peak requirements?
You know what? No. And that's what we're on a federal courthouse right now. And they've got a very high level of development right now on that project. And we actually see ourselves going over quite a bit. Now that we've gotten more and more into this, BIM animal and starting to do it, we are designing to speed our own selves up. And we end up going into a deeper dive by doing that. So, I think that there's no such thing as too far. And, a picture's worth 1,000 words. So we definitely try to take it as far as we can here at Lake Erie and make it as constructible as possible.
I love it. I love it. You can hear your passion, man. You can tell that you just love
I
what
want
you
them to see every nut and bolt and connector, and I want them to know what way that connector's facing. That's just me. Some people are like, dude, why are you spending that much time making that face like this or do that? And I'm like, because there could be a real conflict out in the field with what we were putting in. So I want to know if what we're putting in is correct. I want to have an accurate interpretation of what, I expect my guys in the field to be making and doing.
You know what? I'm not that far down the road from you. I should come up there with my crew and we should capture some of the things you're doing live, just to walk people through. I think it'd be super impressed by the process. All right, Al Gintinsky. I think it's a Gintinsky.
Yep.
He said he knows some people. Good. Oh, good. Bring them to the table, Al. We want to know more people. Thank you for joining us today. Oh, Jennifer, who knows? Jennifer, who the heck's Jennifer Cooper? She says, welcome, Aaron Graven. Prefab MEP seem like such a logical solution. Why aren't we seeing more electrical companies embracing virtual design and prefab solutions?
I think it's just the nature of the beast. We've been doing it for so long and it's been just getting us by. But, now we're starting to get these expectations from GCs and other people out there. And the norm of construction is changing and it's changing fast. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Jennifer, thank you. That was a great comment and question. Alex Hanna. I have a feeling this individual. He says, good afternoon from Boise. Boise, man, you're doing work with people in Boise, I guess, or people in Boise. Prefab Friday. Nice to see Aaron Graven talking about prefab. Shout out to Brian Dilly and the whole crew at Lake Erie Electric.
Thanks, Alex. No, Alex is a great guy, and he worked with us and helped train us up. He kind of jump started us here. And, we came in, didn't know a whole lot, and him and Jeff Drews with BIM TM, they've done a heck of a job getting us on board, and there's some great partners and great people to know.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad they joined us. Alex, thank you so much for giving a shout out and showing your respects today. I really appreciate that. And thanks for tuning in to Dave Cooper Live. All right, Aaron, we're about out of time here. Is there anything that I didn't mention or anything that you want to bring up before you go on your vacation next week?
Ooh, no, I guess the one thing that I want to put out to the youth of our industry is playing all those video games might finally pay off.
There you go.
Keep on playing them and get good at it and keep doing your Roblox and your Minecraft and all that. And someday you come work for us.
Well, hey, listen, there's a reason the military hires all the young people to fly drones from the States, and they're flying them overseas because they have the talent and they have the finger skills. I mean, I see my daughters just text, and I don't know how their fingers move so fast.
It's crazy, yeah. And the youth, they've literally been bred for this. I'm watching some of these kids that we're hiring and bringing in, and the way they adapt and take to it so fast is just. And I'm sitting here like, how'd you do that, or what'd you do? And it's just, you got to remember, this is what they've grown up around their whole life.
Yeah.
So it's exciting.
It is exciting. Well, Aaron, thank you. Don't go anywhere. We'll come back to you at the end of the show here. But for everybody else out there, man, we got to thank all of our supporting members. We cannot do any of this without all of you out there. We got some big things coming down the pipe with Dave Cooper Live. Can't wait to share them with you here in the very, very near future. And a big shout out again to our friend Sean Intagliata and the folks at Cobalt Creed for all of their support. This show is powered by them and powered by these folks as well. Aaron, stay right there. I'll come back to you. The rest of you, it's Monday. Let's get off to a good week. Thanks for watching. What an amazing show. Thank you to all of our sponsors for helping us to continue to bring all of these innovative conversations to all of you out there. Please visit them, see what they have to offer you. And as always, subscribe to the YouTube channel and ring that bell. It would mean the world to us. I'm Dave Cooper. Thanks for watching.